Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Durrett's Take. So let's get started. The big news that I didn't get the chance to talk about yesterday, but I have plenty of time to talk about today, is the Cam Newton situation of him signing a one-year deal with the Patriots. So a lot of people have talked about like different angles to the signing, but I'm going to talk about just specifically like how much does that really impact the Patriots and what can the result be from it. Um, I this was the only job that Cam Newton would probably get the starting position at. So in that regard, it makes sense why he signed with the Patriots. But overall, though, I just feel like he's not that great of a fit per se. But I guess Bill Belichick wants to have a mobile quarterback now, so maybe he can adjust the offense to that. We shall see. Um, the move says a lot about what Bill Belichick is thinking. So originally, like before this move, I thought, okay, they're just going to tank so they can get either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields in the draft next season. But getting Cam Newton shows that he wants to be competitive and try to get in the playoffs. Um, but for me, I feel like that's actually a pretty dumb idea because if they do get in the playoffs, it's just going to be barely. I feel like the Bills are still the favorite to win the division. Um, but it's like the Patriots may sneak in the playoffs, maybe, but it's just like even then, it's just like not gonna just gonna battle the first round. So it just doesn't really make any sense why do that. Instead of tanking and getting either a Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, who will A be better than Cam Newton, and and then B, since they're really young, they can be for the future. Because if you win like 8 games, you're not. I doubt the Patriots will be able to like trade up or something to get either Lawrence or Fields in the draft. So this is a pretty gutsy move by Bill Belichick. I'm I'm a little bit surprised. A little bit surprised he did it, but a little bit not at the same time because it's Bill Belichick. He's going to get a steal on a player for a good price. Because so a lot of people they say that Cam Newton's going to do pretty well, but for me, the one thing you have to keep in mind is that the Patriots still don't really have, except for Edelman, they don't really have a lot of weapons on offense. So, and he's not, and Cam Newton's not Tom Brady. So therefore, it's going to be a lot ride on Cam Newton. So therefore, I feel like it's not going to work out per se as a lot of people think. Cam Newton in Carolina, he had Christian McCaffrey, top two running back in the NFL, and he had a pretty decent wide receiver group. So I feel like, so I just feel like it's not going to work out until the Patriots start getting more weapons for Cam. But I feel like so originally I had them winning only 3 games this season, so obviously I'm going to bump that up a little bit. Um, I feel like they'll probably win in between 7 and 9. 7 and 9 is their best case scenario. Um, I'm going to lean towards exactly what I'm just going to have them go 500. So it's like yeah, and they'll be competitive a lot of their games now because of Cam Newton. But it's just like yeah, eight. Like is it worth like say Cam Newton for an 8-8 record? Like to me, it's not when you can just tank. But oh well. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that develops. I feel like Cam Newton might not start week one though because he's coming in so late. So he needs to learn the terminology and the schemes and stuff like that. So it might be Stidham who actually starts week one, or if they want to go just if they're not pressed with him, then you can just start experienced Toyer for a few games until Cam Newton's ready to go. But it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. So another big thing that came down was we finally know the consequences of the actions of the Patriots film crew filming the sideline. And to me, the punishment was they would get fined $1 million, which they're paying Cam Newton less for a year. So go figure there. Classic Bill Belichick will get a quarterback or anyone for cheap that matter. But and then they also have a third round draft pick taken away, and then of course the film crew is suspended for next season. They have to take training courses on the rules and regulations, stuff like that. But I feel like this punishment does not fit the crime. They've already had 2 strikes, if you will, against them with Spygate 1.0 and then the Flagate. So in my mind, I feel like the punishment here should have been at the very least similar to what Deflategate was. Um, Obviously, since Cam Newton's it's not Tom Brady, I wasn't expecting them to suspend the quarterback because the Patriots really know who the starting quarterback may be per se by week 1. So I knew that wasn't going to be a punishment per se. But I thought, okay, you should have a first round draft pick taken away from you. I'm surprised they did not have that do that. Also, what you could do, since you can suspend a quarterback, is that you can suspend Bill Belichick for a few games. Like that would have definitely sent a message to the Patriots. Hey, you need to stop doing this. To have a first round draft pick taken away and suspend Belichick and the fine for $1 million, that would have been a lot for them, and they would have hopefully gotten the message. But I mean, with these punishments, the Patriots might as well just go ahead and try to sneakily do something like this again. Because if this is their only type of punishment they're going to get, then I mean, I feel like that's where they're for them to cheat. But I mean, now of course, there's always that percent chance that they may have not cheated, like there may have been an honest mistake after all. But if it was an honest mistake, they might as well just not give them really much of a punishment at all. So I know the NFL thinks they're at least somewhat guilty, not all the way guilty. So that's why I just don't get why the punishment wasn't more that fits the crime. So classic Patriots and Bill Belichick get away with something once again, whether it was his doing or not. Just the organization in general, it just gets lucky once again. One of the luckiest organizations in the past decade or two. Okay, so there's been a source. One source has said that Jadaveon Clowney is wants to sign with either the Dallas Cowboys or New Orleans Saints. First of all, I'm still surprised that a team. Well, not surprised per se, like I'm in shock, but a little bit surprised at least that a team hasn't signed him quite yet. The Cowboys need him more than the Saints, so I feel like the Cowboys should be the team to make the push for him per se. And I hope he goes to the Cowboys since I'm a Cowboys fan. It'd be nice to have him, but I know I figure there's actually a few reasons why though Clowney probably hasn't been signed yet, and I know a way to kind of fix that to where he's more signable, if you will. So the first reason why he does not get signed, he's not getting signed right now, is because he does have an injury history. Like he was out for a few games last year. Like it's hard for him to stay healthy throughout a full season. So if he can fix that up, then he's going to be worth a lot more. But I mean, if you have a player that keeps on getting injured, then I'm not sure how much he's worth in the long run. So to me, he would only get 1 year prove contract deal. But the second thing is he's only good sometimes. Like you can have one game where it's like, yeah, he gets a sack, he gets like 7 tackles for loss, he's a monster, wrecking havoc, and then there's another game where he has 0 sacks and like maybe just 1 tackle for loss, and that's his whole stats. Like that's pretty much it. So he's very inconsistent. If he can get more consistent, then again, that's going to increase his stock and be a lot more. So that way he can be an every down back versus just sometimes back. So the solution is that where you're the Cowboys or the Saints, what you need to do is you need to sign Clowney to just a 1 year deal. Don't go over a 1 year deal. And then also what you need to do is you need to lower the price, man, because I think Clowney's demanding $17 million. So in my mind, that's way too expensive for what I just talked about with him. So that's just way too much. So in my mind, you got to lower the down to at the maximum $10 million at the maximum. But for me, I'd try to get maybe like a $7 million deal, 1 year, $7 million deal or something like that for him unapproved. And then obviously, if he can stay consistent, if he stays healthy next year, then you can award him with a big contract. But if not, then you know, okay, well, it wasn't too much of a gamble because we didn't pay too much for him. So Clowney needs to come to terms and realize that. But then the teams also need to realize that they need to lower the demands as well. So if they can both accomplish that, and I could see Jadaveon Clowney signing with the team at some point real soon, because he's too talented to go to wait on the free agency market. And he actually might do that. He might actually just wait on the free agency market, so that way if injuries happen or coronavirus happens and a team needs him, then they'll be desperate enough to sign and give him his money. But and that might work. But I feel like my option is way better now. He should do that instead. So finally, going back to what I did yesterday with explaining how I think the teams are going to do, now I'm going to be going over the standings and the playoff scenario. So let's start off with the Eastern Conference. So you have, and by the way, I'm going to say this again, some of these predictions are similar to what I've said in the past, so I apologize in advance, especially in the East. But let's get started. So you got 1 seed Milwaukee versus 8 seed Orlando. So I still feel like Milwaukee's going to sweep Orlando. Um, oh, and by the way, since I just found out that the DeAndre Jordan for the Nets is now not playing, and then if Spencer Dinwiddie just got coronavirus, so if he ends up not playing after all, because he said he's on the side right now, if he ends up not playing, then Brooklyn, who have a 7, is gonna fall down to 8. If not, maybe out of the playoffs. Because what? Because if they just don't win any of the games, then Washington can be in that playing scenario, then maybe they can get the upset. But so that'll be interesting to watch out for Brooklyn. But let's assume that Spencer is able to play after all, and that's the case, and I still feel like Brooklyn can stay at the 7th seed. But anyways, so yeah, Milwaukee's beats Orlando, sweeps them, and then Toronto. I usually had Brooklyn winning 1 game here, but with all the players that's sitting out for Brooklyn, I'm just gonna have Toronto sweep them. It's just not gonna look good for Brooklyn. And then 3 seed Boston versus 6 seed Indiana. Now, Indiana, they'll be competitive in most of these games against the Celtics, but I'm only gonna have them winning 1 game against the Celtics. It'll be over 5 games. They were competitive in all the games last year, but they got swept. So I mean, they're just not really a good playoff team per se. And then 4 seed Miami versus 5 seed Philly. I feel like this will be a pretty interesting game, like or series, if you will. I feel like Jimmy Butler though is the difference. I feel like Miami will win the series in the 6 games, I believe. It could go straight 7 games, or even could go a little bit. But luckily, Miami, even though they're not gonna have fans there, they're gonna still have the home state, if you will, advantage since they're in Atlanta. So that's gonna be helpful for them a lot. And since Philly's bad on the road, it wouldn't surprise me if Philly doesn't perform well. So then you got Milwaukee versus Miami. I still feel like this can go 6 games with Milwaukee winning, because Miami gives them fits in the past, and they continue, and I feel like they can match up with them pretty well. And then you got Toronto versus Boston. I feel like either way you slice it, this will be a 7-game series, and I still lean towards Toronto to win this one. Now, if, like I said, if a player bows out due to coronavirus injury or BLM or whatever, then obviously it changes things. But assuming everyone's there ready to go, I feel like Toronto can squeak it out of their unrated team. But then when you got Milwaukee versus Toronto, I still have Milwaukee win this in 5 games, because I feel like Toronto does. Boston will match up better with Milwaukee than Toronto will. So see that in 5 games. And then you got the West, the Lakers, New Orleans. I have Lakers winning in 5 games, but New Orleans will make them competitive most of the time. That'll be a very interesting series, even though in 5 games. And then Clippers versus Oklahoma City. So I have Oklahoma City fall down to the 7th spot. Clippers will win that in 5 games, because I feel like the Thunder can get lucky or something one game, but it's Clippers to win. And then 3 Utah versus 6 Dallas. I have this going into 7 games actually, but because of no Bojan Bogdanovic, Dallas will, in my opinion, will win this series. And then 4 Denver versus 5 Houston. So I still have Houston winning this one against Denver. I feel like it favors Houston in 6 games. So then you have the Lakers versus Rockets next round. So I have this going 6 games. It could go 7 games or something, but I have this going 6 games, and I have the Lakers winning, just because it's LeBron and James Harden jokes in the playoffs. Then you got the Clippers versus Dallas. I feel like Dallas could be competitive, make it 6 games, but Clippers will win ultimately. So you have, of course, the Lakers versus Clippers rivalry in the Western Conference Finals. And even though the Lakers don't have Avery Bradley more, they have J.R. Smith. I decided to still keep the Lakers to win at 7 games, but we still don't know about Lou Williams, if he's going to play for the Clippers, Dwight Howard is going to play for the Lakers. So still a little bit, a few more things to kind of figure out. But I feel like I'm still going to give the Lakers barely the edge for now. And then you have Milwaukee versus Lakers finals. I still feel like whoever wins the Lakers-Clippers matchup will win this finals in 6 games, maybe 7 games. But I'm going to go 6 games here, so Lakers will win it all still. And LeBron can, in my mind, get his last championship, because I feel like after this season, it's going to just become harder and harder for him to win one. But yeah, so those are my new playoff predictions now. And I won't come up with new ones again, obviously, till it's actually playoffs time. We finish the regular season schedule, but I'm looking forward to basketball again being back, and it's exciting. It's going to be exciting, one way or another. So thank you very much for listening to my show today. Please subscribe to my channel and let everyone know about me. Please leave comments what you'd like me to talk about in the future. Thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful day.